Hey, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Keep the Mic On. I am Girl Genius. I will tell you more about myself momentarily. Uh, yes, it's good to have you here. This is my week. I'm going to let my co hosts introduce themselves while I get myself together, and then I'll tell you about the guests. Yay! So, for the time being, I will toss the ball to, let's see, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. I'll toss it to Miss Cayenne. Ha!
I got it. Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy National Poetry Month. I am Miss Cayenne. I'm a poet and I know it. My segment for Keep the Mic On is called Passion Projects. The root of the why. Why do we do what we do? Yes, we're talented. Yes, we can make some dough, but really there's a story behind everyone. So that's what my segment is about. We're doing that next week, so make sure you tune in for next week. But this week, we have an awesome guest. Of course, that person will be introduced by the host. And I'm going to kick it. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to throw it. We playing. Ball. Ready? You ready? I got to make sure. This is right. I'm going to throw the ball to Kaniki Jakarta, the poet laureate of Alexandria. First African-American poet laureate of Alexandria, Virginia. Here we go.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Keep the Mic On. We have been doing this for 2 years and a month. 2 years and a month. We have moved over to April. So thank you so much for joining us. This is the perfect time for you to go tell your mama, your friends, and all of them that we are live on YouTube and Facebook. And we're here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tell them it's Eastern Standard Time, child, because people be missing the show. They be like, I thought it was Central Time. No, it's Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to support us, we would love for you to do it. Every artist that comes on, they volunteer their time. So we definitely ask that you support the artists. Also, these platforms are not free. So if you would like to help us keep the mic on, you can support us on our Patreon and our Cash App. You can throw some coins in there so that we can keep the mic on. My segment is called Poets and Platforms, where I interview poets who have platforms for all different types of the arts. Simply Sherry is not here today. She's off today. Her segment is called From Behind the Microphone, where she interviews artists. And because artists are people too, so we get to know a little bit more about them. So yay. So anything else I want to tell y'all? That's all I want to tell y'all before I introduce the amazing. So listen, her segment is called Let's Talk About the ... However, this week, mostly it's books. So this week it is books. I am so excited about this particular. I know I say I'm excited every time, but I do be excited every time. Y'all have coined us as a masterclass. So we are very specific. Since y'all gave us that title, we're very specific to keep on bringing on people who are masters. This person I have known for 2 decades. I recommended her because she is amazing. She's one of the most profound writers that I know. I have all of her books, right? I have them all and read them. Well, the last one I hadn't read yet because I need some tissue and getting myself together. But yes, so y'all make sure that y'all be supporting hers. But listen, they don't call our co-host the Girl Genius for nothing. So y'all give it up for the one, the only Girl Genius.
Yeah, everybody. All right. So I'm going to start with, let me introduce myself. And then I'm going to run y'all some quick news, facts, things, that sort of thing, because we had some things happen. It's been an exciting week since the last time you've seen this. And then I'm going to do my guest bio, which is long and extensive and absolutely wonderful. And I'm so looking forward to talking to her. Like, I'm so excited. Y'all just don't understand. So yeah, let's get this show started. Here we go. Number one, if you have heard us talking about this for the last few weeks, the Women of the World Poetry Slam today is actually the end of the Women of the World Poetry Slam. Today is the last day. So we had a 2-day preliminary, a 1-day finals. Finals were yesterday. Phenomenal poet out of New Jersey named Roddy won. Just absolutely fantastic. I'm hoping maybe we can get her on the show at some point. She is absolutely phenomenal. So we usually use this news segment to talk about previous guests. So here's the news about the previous guests. So on my segment, not too long ago, we had Cassandra is Free. Cassandra is Free is now ranked number 9 in the entire world.
Yes.
She's the number
Cass,
9
it's free.
woman poet in the entire world.
Yes.
Oh, but wait, there's more. She dropped on us yesterday that she has been nominated as the poet laureate for the entire state of Virginia.
Go ahead, Cass.
I was like, apparently you're just having a great week and this is where we are.
Go ahead, Cass. That's amazing.
Yeah. And because we have a habit of having phenomenal women on this show, I do believe 2 or 3 of our other guests who have been on this show are also in the top 10. We've had Carla Newhouse on the show in the first season. She is now ranked, I believe, number 6. If I'm not mistaken, number 7. Carla's number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did we miss? Who did I miss, Kaniki? Who did I miss? Wait a minute.
I don't know. I'm stuck in the amazement, but you know.
Oh, we've had Lady Breon on here, who was the director for the entire festival. And this is the first time this festival has been held in Baltimore. Ever. Like, Baltimore has not had a major, like, ever. So kudos to her for bringing this tournament to the city of Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I believe that's it for a final stage of people we've had. There are some people on that list that we want back here, but I wanted to shout specifically those 3 ladies out. If you know me, I also competed this week. I am not ranking myself. I am now ranked number 23.
Yes, come on, 23.
Wow. Yeah. This is my second major, and I'm now ranked at number 23.
Wow.
So kudos to everybody that did WOWPs. When we get off of this show, I'm gonna go back and try to find out who won finals for virtual.
Right.
And if you're interested, you know, our info is here. Ask us about anybody we've had on the show. The tournament will be back around next year, and all the good things that have happened. I think that's all my news for this week.
Yes.
I think that's enough. I think that's my good news for this week. So back to tonight, because now, speaking of phenomenal women and Poetry Month, we have another phenomenal woman on this show. We have a phenomenal guest. So my guest this week is Brandi Forte, who, you know, I am just like, if y'all could see this bio, it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna give y'all the short version of the bio, and then I'm going to bring her on to do all the things like we normally do. All right.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna pull y'all out real quick and pull our guest in so she can be here while we are reading the bios. Hey,
y'all!
I got you on the bio. You ready?
Yeah.
You gonna get your bio is like several paragraphs, so we're gonna get the abbreviated version, and then we let everybody else see what we talking about. Ready?
Absolutely.
I got you. I absolutely believe the first sentence, though. Powerful, inspiring, and uplifting encompasses just the beginning of her extraordinary purpose-filled journey. She's a mother, a CEO, author, journalist, educator. She continues to live her life making God's dream for her reality. She is a native of Santa Monica, and you're back there now, right?
I am here. I'm actually in the DMV.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We kidnapped you. Hot shit. That makes me happy. We have kidnapped her to the East Coast, ladies and gentlemen. It was in the midst of urban ocean breezes, the 80s drug epidemic and gang warfare, that at the age of five, this is impressive, she started using writing as a therapeutic way of artistic expression and coping. She's excelled at writing and speaking while using her church, school drama clubs, prolific plays, community performances, student government, and family experiences to cultivate her gift and ministry. She landed at Howard. She went to Howard University.
HU.
Hey, listen, shadow mail member, and normally Sherry would be in on it too, because Sherry, her day gig is at HU. Normally they'd be in here yelling this out. So I bet you if we do it at the end and our shadow mail member shows up, I promise you get a holler back. Because that's what we do. Let me see. Like I said, we own the paragraphs of things. Here we go. Where are we? She established herself at Howard as a highly respected writer. Post-graduation, she was the editorial coordinator for the Source Hip Hop magazine. Hey.
Yes.
9/11 guided her back to DC to begin her emerging career in education, working with at-risk and special needs students. For the last decade, her mission has been to write about the struggles and triumphs from Hollywood to the depths of urban communities. But, she has been blessed with opportunity to teach elementary, middle, and high school students. And when I tell you she's got books, y'all. 3 of them bad boys, if not more than that. Wait a minute, what am I missing? 4 of them bad boys. There we go. She got 4 of them bad boys. One of them is Drama Girl, The Diary of a Sister Poet. One of them is Half Chicken, Half Scholar. I love that title. I cannot. Fabulous. That is absolutely fabulous. And Free, while it is her gift, her true calling is transforming lives. She's the founder and executive director of Amala Lives. I can't read. Lord Jesus.
Amala Lives. You got it, sis.
Listen, I do a lot of poetry all week, and I'm surprised my voice is still intact. We're just gonna go with that.
Yes.
I promise you, my voice has not been in the end of tournament week for me is usually like, I'm barely talking.
I feel you.
But I definitely wanted to be here for this, y'all. I'm gonna hold my phone up so y'all can see this. This is her bio, y'all.
And that's the short version.
That is, and I bet you, and I'm telling you, it's all extremely well deserved, right? Yeah. So I am excited to have her here, and I'm gonna shut up now and reserve the rest of what's left of my voice for you to do the thing over there. I'm gonna step out and let you do poems, okay?
Absolutely. Yes.
The things.
Thank you so much, you guys, for allowing me to kick off National Poetry Month. A lot of people, know me now as an author, a 4-time best-selling published author. But before I was an author, I was a poet. And when I say poet, I'm speaking of a backpacking poet in the 90s, early 2000s. That's how I started. So I will kick off a poem dedicated to the late legendary Nipsey Hussle, who just passed away. You be loving the man of your dreams. He gangsta. I said, you be loving the man of your dreams. He gangsta, but he got the keys to empowering. He got Garvey fortitude, Du Bois wisdom, Malcolm's fight, Huey's gangsta, and millennial vision. I said, you be loving the man of your dreams. You love him like Coretta loved King and how Winnie loved Mandela. You love him until his dreams come true. You love him until his dreams come true. You carry his legacy in your womb. You love the man of your dreams until it's gangsta. You love the man of your dreams until it's gangsta. You love the man of your dreams until the gangster becomes architect, rare, and defines a culture. I know that type of love because it breaks hearts, it shifts, it times, it ignites a movement, it shuffles your deck of cards on how you see life, it makes your heart palpitate. He dies before his time. He dies before his time. I mean, you love a man until you call it gangsta. You like Betty Shabazz morning laments until the heavens hear your cries, sis. But you had the chance to love like never before, Lauren. It's gangsta. Peace.
Had to unmute myself. I'm gonna unmute myself for all of the applause that you should normally hear in the background. Oh man, yeah. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Listen, they're all like Snapalicious. I love my co-hosts. They're like the bestest. So let's start with the question list. So if you've never seen, you've not been here, if you've never seen the show, I have a list of questions that I run through.
Yeah.
And then it kind of does what it does. We discuss all the things.
Got it.
Right. So we're gonna talk about all the things. Consider this a conversation with your girlfriends. That's where we are right now.
Absolutely. Hey, Asha, I did see a comment. Hey, Asha
Mhm.
Watson. Hey,
Mhm.
y'all. Hey,
Yep.
everybody. Yeah, that was gangsta. Hey, everybody.
So let's start with uh start with let's talk about that poem specifically.
Mhm.
What drew you to write that poem specifically?
Well, the night that Nipsey Hussle was murdered, I was actually in the hospital. I was recovering from I was recovering from sepsis. I had sepsis. I
Ooh.
almost died. And, I'm from California. Um, I grew up in the culture of gang life to revolution. My stepfather, who helped raise me, was a Black Panther. But at the same time, I grew up in the 80s culture of gang banging and drug dealing. And so Nipsey, for me, emulates the duality of a Black man in America. And I was recovering from something that was life threatening, but a meaningful, powerful rapper had just died. And so my brother told me, he announced it. My brother's here from California, and he told me, and I just wept. I wept in the hospital, and I just typed it on my Facebook post and sent it into the atmosphere. It actually received about 8,000 likes and reactions. I didn't even know it was going to go viral, but I definitely miss Nipsey, his impact, and having been a person who was married to someone who was murdered. I'm a gun violence survivor.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
my husband had just been murdered in 2017. Nipsey, I believe, died in 2019. So I understand it, Lauren. So I had to write that.
Oh, wow. I was like, I asked about that specifically because I seem to have, I remember seeing, oddly enough, when I was going through the, your info, like I remember coming across that and I was
Mhm.
like, it's interesting you chose that, but that's why I asked about it. But how has, if you want to answer this, like how has being that survivor or being that impacted by that, by your husband's death, how has that influenced your writing at all?
So, child, I cried and went to therapy, cried and went to therapy,
I
cried
wrote a whole
and
book
went to
about therapy. I ain't
therapy
playing.
until I told my therapist that I was tired of talking and I wanted to write. And so she challenged me to write would have been a romance novel, and I wrote Stronger. And instead of telling someone else's love story, I wrote my own and Stronger. So it's 526 pages of pain, love, resiliency, life, balance, mental health, everything. Black love told from an urban lens. So I unleashed it, and really it allowed me to heal. Once I wrote that last line in my book, it allowed me to heal.
I was about to say that is what writing, what good writing is supposed to do. It's supposed to let you heal on the back end. And let me ask you, because most of my segments always ask, like I like picking writer's brains. That's why I chose, let's talk about, mostly talk about books, but I also like for people to have product that goes, here's a showcase of all things I can do. But
Yes.
I specifically chose books because um A, it's really not easy to write a book, and
Mm-mm.
B, I really want people to understand what the process looks like.
Yes.
And it's specifically because you write books that aren't poetry books. You do write poems, but these are not poems. These are like full collect, these are things, these are like big, heavy 500
So
page
so
novels.
when I first started writing, I have 4 books. My first book was a book of poetry.
Right.
It was Drama Girl, Diary of a Sister Poet. That was my first.
Correct.
Um, I got my degree from journalism, so I've always been a writer. I wanted to challenge myself with my second and third book. And so with my second book, which is half chicken, half scholar, I really wanted to at least tackle, all of what comes with writing a novel. And so I challenged myself. I was still young. I was in my 20s. I wrote Half Chicken, Half Scholar. It is really just a Black chick lit, book that just makes you laugh, makes you think of young homegirls, all the beautiful, beautiful struggles that you go through as a Black young adult. That's just it. You have chicken, because back then it was Project Pack. So
Yep.
you have chicken, you have chicken head, and you have scholar. And that's what I found that I attracted with me and my friends. And so you got that. I would, after writing Half Chicken, Half Scholar, I still was performing. But life got real. I ended up having my first child, a son, that I ended up raising him on my own. And so if like I know, poetry eventually will pay off with helping to pay the bills, but it don't pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? Let's be transparent. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta get a job, you gotta get a career, you gotta apply pressure. I was
Right.
I went away from writing poetry, and then I wrote Free. And so Free is based on a true story. It is truly my story of becoming a Black woman, in America. And then from that, stronger. It's interesting now, everything is 360, because lately everybody's been contacting me to perform. And so
Right.
I had material. I have so much material now that at the end of the month, I will begin performing live. And so it's gonna be interesting, right? I know Kaniki can really appreciate it. So that's where we are now.
Yeah, I get that. Like, so oddly, so my first book was not poetry. I did the opposite. I wrote a creative nonfiction book first,
Wow.
because it came out of a graduate school project that everybody was like, you just need to finish this because that's funny as hell.
Wow.
And then I was like, well, I've already done this. I can write a poetry book. I
Wow.
was writing poetry, but the poetry book did not come first.
Wow. So you're extra smart. You had to apply that whole because there's a whole process to writing. So you had to
There is.
learn that writing process early.
Yeah, I have been a writer in some capacity, like full time, that sort of deal, since I was 15. And so I've been writing for a living for a while. And I laugh because the book, the nonfiction book, came out of being snowed in the house during snowpocalypse back in 2008. We got stuck in the house for 3 weeks. We got I don't know, what was it like?
Oh, I remember that.
Snow. Yeah, we got snowed in for literally 3 weeks. I had nothing else to do. I literally took all my notes that I've been sitting on and said, I have a focused amount of time to do this. I'm in the house. Where am I going to go? So I spent 3 weeks just pulling all this stuff together. It is a process. That is literally why I do this segment of the show. It is a process.
Yes, it is.
And don't you love when people ask you, like, how'd you do that? Like, I've always wanted to publish a book, and I don't know. Sometimes you need somebody to shove you to push to do a book.
Yes, it is. It is such a process. One thing I have learned is that don't push the process.
No, don't.
Let things come organically, because it will completely make sense if you allow things to come organically. Even though I set timelines and I set deadlines, I still allow things to come organically because it makes sense.
It does. It's one of those, writing is one, especially novels. Novel writing is one of those things that it might take you 2 months, it might take you 2 years. The idea is to actually get it done, and it's not on your time. But in the interim, work through the ideas. Editing is important. Yes,
you please, writers, anybody aspiring, you must hire an editor. You cannot write and edit. You cannot write and edit. You will produce trash.
Man, listen.
because
Man, listen.
you're not going to see what they see. And you can be a bomb writer. Like I'm a bomb writer, but I need an editor. Shout out to my editor, Alana Bouton, who is a best-selling editor. I don't even know why she took on Stronger, but
I
thank
edit
you,
for other
Jesus.
people. I have edited for other people. I'm telling you, you will miss so much stuff trying to edit your own work.
Yes. Yep.
And that doesn't matter how good you are, get somebody with a pair of eyes just to edit it.
Absolutely. You got to.
They don't even have to make, they can make all the creative suggestions they want. You don't have to heed any of them. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to listen to it, but you're gonna want somebody to tell you like that don't make no sense and where did this come from?
Yes, all those questions that y'all editors be writing, it'd be so tedious, but it's so needed. Even the grammatics.
The grammatics, yes.
And people don't know that there is actually an urban style guide.
There is.
People don't know that.
There's an urban style guide from the girl who used to listen. I used to carry I was a backpack poet for a hot second too, and I used to carry in my bag. I promise you, was always a rhyming dictionary, a thesaurus, a regular dictionary, and somebody's style guide.
Yes, and yes, absolutely.
Didn't matter which one, but there's definitely like don't think that I'm not trying to edit the language out of you. I'm not trying to right. I'm not trying to make this it's just
you got to make it make sense.
Right.
And bring order and balance. That's what makes writing in this whole literary world magical,
I was about to say, you've been writing a long, long time. Like what drew you to writing as an outlet?
Man, like you either go to jail or you write.
It's like dudes, you either go to jail, you play ball. Women, you either go to jail, you write, make it happen.
Yeah, it's therapeutic, just being hopeful, romantic, and living life and being a Black woman in America and learning how to, journal and, write down things that come to you. Writing for me was true therapy, but at the same time, I was able to dream through my words.
Yeah.
I was able to, when I look at some of the stuff, I'm like, dang, I was on point at 22. For me, it was prophetic, I think.
It's catharsis. It's definitely therapy. But I ask because, there's some people, they get drawn to the writing. Some people, they get drawn to drawing. There's an artistic outlet for all the things. But yeah, this is my opinion, and it takes a special kind of brain to go, I just want to see all the words. I'll let y'all figure out the pretty pictures. I just want to see all the words.
Absolutely. And even though I write novels, my work is so, when you hear or read the work, you'd be like, it's still like poetry. It's still poetic. It's still descriptive. I
don't even like to box poetry in.
Right.
You can find poetry in all the things. It doesn't have to look like the slim things. It changes how you view it, but it doesn't necessarily change the fact that it's a poem, or maybe it isn't, or maybe it doesn't need to be, or I don't know. Depends on what do you think poetry is,
Right. Yep. You can't define it. It just is.
It just is. I like you. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, speaking of, because you have multiple, long novels. For the curious, like how long does it take you to write a book?
So,
in a general sense, not like
in a general
2 years,
sense,
4 months,
Yeah, in a general sense, a year, a good book, a year. I would say if I'm focused, 2 years if I got stuff going on.
I was gonna say, I understand life gets in the way.
I'm getting ready to start writing stronger too. The goal is to write it in 9 months, but I know it'll probably take a year for me to write it to get it to where I really want it to be. But who knows? Because when I wrote my first book, the poetry book, I wrote in 30 days. Half Chicken, Half Scholar, I wrote that in 6 months. Free, I wrote the book and lost it and still wrote it in 6 months. Stronger, it took me 4 years. So it just
it just depends on what it is.
Where I am in my life. Absolutely.
Okay, so here's the $10 million question, because we've had different answers on here. We got a couple $10 million questions.
Okay.
I really wish I had $10 million a year for an answer. But every time I ask this question on this show, I get a different response, and it's always an interesting response, which is not just how long did it take you to write the book, but how often do you write? What does your like there is a school of thought that some people have come on the show and said they write every day without fail. There are some people who say, I don't write unless there is something for me to write about. There is the I have to be in a certain place crowd. I get curious about how often people write.
That's an excellent question. So I write when I have something to say, point blank, period. I write something when I feel like I've been called to write. I don't, when I was younger, I would write every day. I would commit to writing every day. Now it's like I got to write with a purpose. That's how I see it. I think now I'm in a very creative zone right now in my life. And so I'm writing more. And that's just where I'm at.
Are you going to do it is National Poetry Writing Month?
Yes.
So I asked that because are you going to attempt to do like the 30 and 30 challenge? A lot of poets do it. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
So I'm not gonna say 30 challenge, but I am booked for 7 different venues. So I think that's enough.
That's enough. That's enough.
That's enough. And I know a lot of material is gonna come from it. So
that's enough.
Right.
So, I was gonna say, so for anybody here who doesn't know what that is, so usually during National Poetry Month, you'll get poets trying to do what's called a 30-30, which is you write one poem every day during the month of April, which is a lot harder than it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
If you have not tapped out by day 4, sometimes you can get to maybe day 15 and before you tap out. I don't know. I've been able to successfully do it maybe twice. And I wasn't going to take it on this year, and I'm going to do some, but not the whole 30. I am already behind the 8 ball here as it is for 3.
Because this would be
already the 3rd. So I'm already 3 days behind because I was in the middle of doing, in the middle of the tournament. But yeah, I was like, I'm not going to be able to catch up. However, I encourage anybody who wants to try to attempt to write that much to do so. Find you a prompt. There people are putting them all over the place.
Yeah, they have. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to do prompt books. Every year I would drop one, like March 31st, I drop one. Here you go, y'all go ham. I did not have the capacity to put that up this year, which is why I'm not doing it at all.
Wow.
But under normal circumstances, I say that to say under normal circumstances, I like to find out whether or not people write every day.
Right.
It's not even necessary to do that.
It's so much going on. It's so much going on in the world. We still in a pandemic. So many people have lost their lives. And the fact that we're still alive is a blessing with everything that's going on. I just feel like everybody should be guided by their spirit. You know what I'm saying? And be guided by their spirit guide, because it's no formula for real. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, everything was so systematic and there was a quote unquote formula. But things are so different now. So I would say poets, be guided by your spirit. Don't force it, don't push it, just kind of let it be.
That is excellent advice. I was about to say, I don't force myself anymore. I used to be, because the way I work, my brain is like, you haven't written anything. It's like, well, here's the thing. Maybe I don't need to today. I write for a living.
Right.
Can we do the creative stuff? Like, kind of take a break.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. Is it time for another poem?
Not yet. We almost there. Got a couple more questions. I got a couple.
Oh,
more
you
questions.
drilling me? Okay, come with the drill.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do the whole series of questions,
Okay.
and then on the back end, we got audience questions and the questions from our other hosts.
Okay.
So you're gonna get all the questions. I told you it's a whole conversation.
Okay, cool. I'm ready.
I'm trying to figure out where. Speaking of being guided by your spirit, like I have a set list of questions, but I told you it's never in order.
Right.
And it's like where are we going next with this conversation, right? So we talked about the writing part of it. Now, I know where I want to ask you next. Let's flip this over and talk about, you have a book. Now, what does the publishing end of this look like?
Ooh. So, and I'm giving this to y'all for free. My first book I self-published, straight backpacker, straight out to Droopy, the broke baller.
Oh, yes, that's the homie.
Drew Bible like this as poets, from Howard and performing. He had published his poetry book and then guided me into publishing my first poetry book. That's how I got started. The second book, I self-published the second book. The third book, I went through Create Space. Create Space is now owned by KDP. KDP is a subsidiary of Amazon.
Correct.
So Stronger is a part of KDP. So even though, publishing is kind of different, back in the day, we were looking for literary agents. If you wanted to go big, if you wanted to be a bestseller, you had to have a literary agent. And then you were trying to
agency book is like this thick and they republish it every year. Yep.
But thank God to social media and all of technology, things are different. And so with Stronger is a great way. My blueprint for Stronger is different from any of my books. And I think that's why it's been the most successful. So, I've made Amazon bestseller. Everything has an algorithm. I had a team. Like before I even released Stronger, I literally had a team. So I had a publicist. I had Kenny Miles, a publicist. We worked at the Source together. I had Ray Williams, who does my bookings. I had a stylist, because things are different now, right? People are big on image on social media. They want to see what the writer looks like. Remember how it didn't matter?
Right. Like you can read all the books and couldn't identify the author on the street.
Now they want to see, because no shade but shade, right? There's people writing books who aren't writers.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. There are people out there writing books who are not writers. Yeah.
Somebody quote that at the bottom so I can post this biggest day in the middle of this page.
I said what I said. And then there's writers writing books. So as a writer who writes books, I had a team, and, shout out to my stylist, Tina, my braider, braided by Britt, my makeup artist, Sean. I had a whole team, and we went forth. We had timelines, deadlines. We met on Zoom because, it was a pandemic, and we executed. So we literally had our everything was virtual. So the release parties were virtual. The book signings were virtual, right? I couldn't wait for things to be lifted to get outside, And then my bookings person was responsible for the book clubs, the bookstores. And so it was a whole process. If you were able to get signed, then they would have their own team. But you best believe you probably you would see about 10%, maybe 8% What residuals?
Yep. You
So
were lucky if you hit 10.
it's best to go independent, just like a lot of these rappers out here and these singers.
I was about to say, what's interesting, as you know, I'm listening to you talk about the publishing and the writing and the process. What's really interesting is you and I have very similar backgrounds in, like, I started out wanting to go to journalism school.
Wow.
I was a journalist for like a good period of time. And I ended up being an English major and then a technical writer. Like I
Ooh.
pulled out of journalism and went into tech writing because there's a little bit more money for it in tech writing, especially in this area.
Yes.
And yeah, and I also realized that the kind of journalism I thought I wanted to do, I wanted to do foreign correspondence. Then I realized I wasn't trying to go overseas to get shot. I'm good. So yeah, we're gonna put a nice kibosh on that and just
Right.
focus on the thing we actually want out of this, which is the writing.
Right.
But having come from that, like as a writer doing things that are not journalism related, like let's talk about like how to phrase this so that it makes sense. Like being the ability to work with like deadlines and really be focused on the writing part of it,
Hmm.
because I think what happens is, especially front end and back end, like publishing and writing, like I think that it requires a level of, even if it takes you 2 years to write the book, it still requires a level of, I still need to hit a mark somewhere. Like
Right.
does that factor in somewhere for you?
Yes, so I definitely have an outline that I break down when I get to writing my chapters. Before I even write the chapters, I name them. So it's like the way I look at the chapters is almost like naming your child before your child is born. Like you're giving life to the chapters. I name my chapters. I meditate on the number of chapters. So I meditate on the number of chapters and I may get a number. I may get 13. I may get 26. I may get 12. Um, and so once I get the numbers, let's just say I get 26 chapters like I did with Stronger, then I start setting those deadlines. I may say 30 days to write, 30 days to proof, 30 days to write, 30 days to
Gotcha.
proof. And then that's the way I give myself a deadline and timeline. When I'm really in my writing process, I'm real strict with myself on the deadlines. And I have a particular time when I write. I have 2 kids, so I normally write in the evening. I write after 9. I write from 9 to say 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I go to sleep and I just keep doing that.
That actually is one of my that's usually on the question list, which is like, what's the formula look like?
Mhm, mhm.
How
So
hard is that? How hard is that with like how old? Well, if you don't mind me asking, how old are the kids?
11 and 17. So they're big kids. And the good thing is that they understand who their mom is, even though I'm just mom to them. They also understand the other person, Brandi Forte. Like my 11-year-old, she's somewhere around here, but she had already took pictures and everything, edited them. She like showing them like I see you. She's like my cheerleader. My son, he's the one who's loading my car up with the books and making sure I have what I need. I've always included my kids even when they were young in the process. So they respect it. They know when I say, y'all go to sleep or find something to do, find something to read or write.
Yeah,
This is a time that not only am I creating, but writing has brought residual income to us
exactly.
in a great way. I see those KDP royalty checks every month.
Nice. I
Yeah.
I ask because we get like it's a fine balance when you have a mini you to worry about. You have a person you have to consider factor into like the writing, like, when do I have time to find a balance between the time I need to actually write the stuff and life?
Right. And I don't have them in front of me, but also writers, okay, a lot of people became millionaires during the pandemic, right? You seen that from hair care to skin care. I created my own apparel line off my book, Stronger. Stronger is catchy. If you go to my website, you'll see that I have Stronger t-shirts, different catchphrases that are in my books on the shirts.
Weren't you holding one up in the background when we first started?
I think so.
Get that right back up.
Oh, let me show you this. This is so dope. This isn't mine, but one of my good girlfriends and makeup artist, she made these Stronger boxes. Isn't that dope?
That is dope.
Sean Destiny Griffin made these. And she had a Stronger retreat that was really, really dope in Delaware a week ago. I attended that. It was real enlightening for sisters. And inside the book, let me show you what's in the book. This is how you can market y'all stuff, y'all. But bubbly, champagne,
nice,
and tea, all the stuff that we're into as creators. You got bombs in here, but my point is, you can market on so many levels. I have a Stronger vending machine now.
You said a vending machine?
Yes. If you go to brandiforte.com, you will see all my products that came from this one book. So now is the time to think outside the box.
So I'm going to point this out. We've posted your website to both our streams, and I have your IG running across the bottom, but I'm going to repost this again toward the end of this conversation, so people know to go. And because I'm a big cheerleader for support.
Thank you.
Yes, they have really dope products. We don't bring just anybody on this show. And this is a whole masterclass in how to sell your stuff. This is why I like products. This is why I like bringing books and things. It's never just books. It's always like the things that go along with it.
Yes, not just bookmarks.
Nope. Not just books, not just bookmarks.
Yeah.
Like we've had, like every time I bring an author here, it's great because they always have like a skill set that's like, okay, we've got books, but we also have.
Right. We have this, and this, and this. And so, yeah.
It's almost like an upscale QVC for like really dope authors. I love it. It's great.
For real. And that's cute. I see everything being streamed. So that's really dope.
Yeah. Always. We are big on, like I said, supporting the people we bring on the show. Like y'all come, like for people who don't know, people come on here because they volunteer their time. They volunteer their time to have this conversation. I'd be like, look, bring some wine. Drink you something. My wine, if that's your thing. My wine fairy has not come upstairs because I don't think I have any wine in the fridge. So usually my wine fairy would be here. I'd be sitting here having a sip and having a conversation. This is, you have volunteered your time to come and have this conversation.
Yes.
Oh, somebody said, the vending machine is dope. That is a really good idea, though.
Yeah. So the vending machine is wrapped in my book cover.
Oh, wow.
And the snacks, I'll call them Stronger snacks, but basically they're a balance between unhealthy snacks and healthy snacks. And they have a sanitizer, mask, good snacks, you name it.
I was about to say, listen. Sometimes you need, like we say, half chicken, half scallop. Sometimes you need the ratchet end. Sometimes you need the healthy snack. Yeah. I don't know where my brain is going to be today. I had a bag of Sun Chips.
Okay.
Then I got my Boston baked beans out of my closet.
And that's called balance, right?
It is. I got a whole closet that's half ratchet, half healthy. I promise you.
Oh gosh, to be Black in America.
Yeah, true.
Black woman in America.
To be a Black woman in America. Man, we are miraculous and awesome. But in the same sentence, sometimes you got to have this much in you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you did.
There's a balance in life. I forgot, who was it? I want to say it was Love the Poet. If you know her, I want to say it was Love the Poet. Who was like, sometimes you just need a little bit of ratchet in your life.
Yeah,
She did that one time, and I was like, yeah,
yeah, you do.
yeah, you do.
Little
And
ratchet.
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just need to know how to handle certain things, and sometimes that includes what you eat.
yeah, yeah, you
You
do.
know,
Yeah, it's about balance. I
it
think
is
you're right.
life is all balance. Writing is all balance. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I absolutely love it. That's awesome. I'm going to go look at this vending machine once we once we get to the Q&A. I'm gonna let them talk and go check out the vending machine because I want to see what this looks like. So let's see, where are we on this question list? Where do I want to go next? Okay, so I probably have about 3 questions left, and then yeah, I probably have about 3 questions left, and then I'm going to say right now to the people in streaming world, if you have questions, start thinking about what you want to ask and start throwing them in the chat. That way we don't have to, we can post up at the end, but let's just go ahead and throw some questions in. And after we finish these last few questions, I'll have you read another poem. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a good question. I love this one because I feel like it's always a good icebreaker question. I mean, considering that we were all kind of stuck inside till 5 seconds ago.
I'm outside. I'm outside.
like yeah. But what is on your reading list? And I ask this because I'm trying to curate a list of what our guests are reading. What's on your shelf? What you reading? What do
So,
you recommend for us?
several books that I didn't buy that I ain't read yet. So I got Sarah Jake's book. I think it's Evolve Woman. I got all of them on my coffee table. I have TD Jake's his workbook. He has a new workbook that's out. I ain't read that. I just finished finally, probably in January, 50 Cent's book. What is that book called? Child, but it's the only book that 50 Cent really got out that's a bestseller. But it's more of a how-to. It's a self-help book. It's his story. I honestly, right now, I'm not focused as much on reading a whole lot of new material because I feel like it's a lot of old material that I've missed. And so I kind of want to go back to some Ntozake Shange and some Toni Morrison and some Terry McMillan. And I just kind of want to go back and kind of get some fundamentals from that.
Look. Our people's are over there like, yep, we got you. It's called Woman Evolved. There you go.
Yes. And I just ordered a sister from Howard. I ordered her book today. It's called The Patient Wears Red Lipstick. So, and it's an Amazon bestseller. It just came out. Artisha Bolden. I'm going to read
What
that.
is it called? Because I'm
The
going.
Patient Wears Lipstick. The Patient Wears, the
Patient wears lipstick. I'm gonna put this in the chat. Is it and I'm asking, is the 50 Cent book called Hustle Harder? Hustle
Yes,
Harder, Hustle Smarter?
Look, y'all, I'm 43. So look, check this out. I tell you who the author is. Y'all know what it is.
Oh no, I'm typing these in the chat. That's what we're doing.
Look, I didn't have a senior moment, but yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait. Run that back. How old did you say you were?
43.
Okay. Where?
I was born in 1978. So Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter.
Yeah, I just got all in there now. I'm gonna post these up.
Woman Evolved, Sarah Jakes, The Lipstick, The Patient Wears Red Lipstick by Artisha Bolden. Those are all books that I want to catch up on. There's a workbook by TD Jakes that I really want to work out. Honestly, right now, like I said, I want to go back to those who laid the foundation for us and read their books and kind of.
I'm throwing it out there. Like I said, I'm literally doing a whole curated list of here's some things that that our authors have come back with and said, this is the book. This is the thing I'm reading right now. This is where you need to be.
Hustle harder, hustle smarter. I
Mhm.
literally, people can say what they want about 50 Cent, but I respect his hustle so much. I'm not just a writer and an author. I own 4 businesses. And so, yes,
Okay.
I own a vocational school in DC. It's called Amala Lives Institute. We train and certify in culinary arts, hospitality, and small business entrepreneurship. I've owned it for 7 years. It's approved and accredited. Amala Lives Institute, yeah. Y'all can put that in the chat. I own Amala Lives, which is a nonprofit. We serve underprivileged communities, low income, but mainly we create and cultivate performance arts programs throughout the year. And during the summer, we have writers camps, we have film camps during the summer in public housing in DC. And I have my own brand, brandyforte.com. And I also, during the pandemic, I had the audacity to create a cleaning company that focuses on cleaning commercial properties. And so we serve the DMV, but we're mainly in Montgomery County. The business is led by young Black men. So I have nothing but young Black men who work for me, and they're doing awesome. They clean shelters and respites in Montgomery County. So
Okay. You know how I said earlier, y'all? I was like, Black women are miraculous.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Black women be making miracles out of all kinds of things.
Yeah,
And the fact that you got so much stuff going on, like we focusing on one piece of like 27 things. Somebody beat me to typing it in here. Thank you very much. I was actually trying to make sure I got the name of the organization right so that people go look it up.
yes.
I want them on your site. I want them looking this thing up. But that's a lot to balance.
Yes.
And I would normally hold this to the end, but Asha's asking the question that's in the back of my head, which is how do you balance the creativity and the entrepreneurship? I mean, work-life balance, it's a thing. How does that work? I mean, especially since we just talked about you got kids and you have to balance out like trying to write with the kids. And so
yes, Asha, that is a great question that I even asked myself. And honestly, I have to steal time for myself. I really have to steal time. Like I've just been going so hard the whole year, and I'm listening to my body. My body is like, you need a break, you need some time. And so I'll be taking at least 4 or 5 days off towards the end of the week into my kids' spring break just to do some things that I want to do. As a matter of fact, I canceled. I was supposed to be in Atlanta, touring Atlanta this week starting on Wednesday, but I canceled my event so I could recenter myself. And it's so funny. I was talking to my boyfriend and I was like, "You think that's bad that I'm not going?" You know what he said? He's like, "Brandi, do you understand who you are? People like you, celebrities, they cancel all the time." He was like, "Take a break." And so I'm just learning to steal time for myself. I try to meditate for at least 15 minutes, just sitting still, getting guidance. I had COVID in December and January, so I'm recovering from that.
yeah.
That shit knocked me off my feet. So I am, getting back to. I'm excited about the little things like jogging on the track. Today I jogged 3 miles, almost died. Yeah, this is life for me. So yeah, I really try to balance things out. I try to incorporate, hydrate, drink water, fruits and vegetables, stuff that the grandmother tell you, eat your fruits and vegetables, and still time for myself. I got to do it.
We listen. I know we're focused on the writing and things, but you know what? We talk on this show a lot about self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Like normally Sherry in her interviews has a question about what do you do for self-care. I have almost always asked some sort of like, what do you do? Like, how do you recenter yourself? As all the things like the mom, like I wasn't kidding about the bio, y'all. I told you I said I'm gonna let her tell you all the things that are in the bio. Yeah. So as a mother and a business owner and a writer and a poet and a performer and just all the things like what
are the things that I do?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about the importance of self-care, but what else are you doing? I mean, I think it's important that you make time for you. I that's me this year.
Yeah.
This year, I have said if I don't do anything else, at least once per month, I'm gonna block out time,
Right,
to go do something over there. And by over there, I mean I don't care if
absolutely, like that's so imperative. You know, every year I do a vision board. I have vision board parties at my house. This year, I was like, I'm not doing no vision board. What I did was I took a whiteboard, you know, the whiteboard that we be writing on the stuff, you know, in the business world. I put a whiteboard and I mounted it in my room. And I write on it. That's how I track myself, when I'm supposed to be. Okay. You're a kindred spirit. You're a kindred spirit. Yes. My joint is in my room on my wall, and I write on that. And my kids be like, "You really got a whiteboard?" Yes, because I need to see what I need to do for myself. And I try to go to the spa at least once a month. I definitely plan on doing some traveling. I always, you know, I love being in a salon. I don't care if it's braids or ponytails. That is self-care for me, getting my hair done. I love getting pedicures. So I do those things. I make it normal instead of like, dang, you ain't gone to do. No, that's like normal. That's normal for me. Every week I treat myself to champagne, my favorite wine. So I'm getting into what it is, and good food. You know, sometimes you just need to. Have you ever just gone and just went to a cool little restaurant and ate by yourself and mind your business? That's me.
All the time. I've been doing that for years, decades even.
It feels so good.
I've always been a firm believer in I do not wait for people to go do the things.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I wait for somebody to like, if I want to do something, you know how people get like, they're like, I really want to go. If you really want to go, you'll show up.
Right.
And if you don't show up, I'll plan to do it again some other time. But right now I'm going to go do the thing.
Yeah.
And if that means I go eat in a restaurant alone, that happens.
Right.
If that means I take that trip by myself, that happens. Mm-hmm. I'm a believer. I'm not going to miss an opportunity because I'm waiting for somebody else to figure out their life.
That is a word. Repeat that, girl genius. Repeat that, because I thought I was crazy.
I honestly said I am not going to miss doing something because I'm waiting for somebody else to figure out their life. I'm not going to miss an opportunity. I'm just not. Like I've gone to movies by myself because I want to see a movie and maybe everybody is late. I actually told that story. I actually told the story about that the other day. I went to a when we call it here the Blacksonian, right? When the African American Museum opened, when they were groundbreaking for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just told the story. We had a concert. They had a concert down on the mall, down in Washington Mall in DC. So the concert was, I want to say it was Parliament Funkadelic, Michelle DeGale. It was free.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I had told some friends, I was like, hey, I need you to show up at this time. This concert's here. It's free. Here we are. Yay. We're going to go watch this big thing, this concert, this Blackity Black concert in the middle of the National Mall because they're going to open up the Blacksonian. This is great. Right?
Right.
I get there early. I'm calling them like, where you guys at? They had a dance floor set up, like the parquet floors, like outside in the middle of the mall. And they had a tent. It's middle of summer and there's screens outside, right? They got there late. I'm sitting front row for a Parliament Funkadelic concert. You might not never see this again in your life.
Right.
On this floor, shaded. They're outside watching this on the screens, on the big screens, because by the time they got there, they had shut the gates. There's like they gated off the parquet floor part.
Right.
I mean, I'm in there front row for some George Clinton. I'm old school. I'm in there for some George Clinton. This beautiful, magical concert. All because I'm not going to wait for y'all if the opportunity is there. There is so much stuff I probably would have missed. And I want y'all to experience with me. And if that's what you want to do, experience this with me, show up.
And that's it. I mean, because like you said, a lot of times people be figuring life out. And you figure your part out.
And that's fine. If that's what you need to do, I'm not knocking to figure your part out. Figure it out.
Right.
Maybe this ain't for you. Maybe this ain't the time for you. Figure that out. That's okay. But in the interim, I'm not going to miss the opportunity because I'm waiting for you to figure your life out.
Right. I remember I was listening to Sarah Jakes that I love to listen to, and she said to my stronger friends, when your friends come to you with what's going on in their life, sometimes you got to say to them, you know, I'm going to pray for you. You know, here's a number to a therapist or a counselor, but I'm not qualified to help you because I'm helping myself. And I think a lot of times we're seeing now it's about self-preservation. For real.
It is definitely self-preservation, but it's also, I've had this conversation with my daughter a lot too. And I have a 17-year-old. So we're like, when people come to you for advice, and I say this to other people now, it's not about wanting to help you. It's, do I have the capacity
to help you? Absolutely.
At which point, if I do not have the capacity, I will tell people I don't have the capacity, like know what a boundary look like. I don't have the capacity for it because maybe I have other things happening. And sometimes I'm just like, do you need advice from me or do you just need me to listen? I can do that.
Right.
I can do that. If you just need me to be here and listen, that's fine. I will not offer any advice because that's not what you're asking me for.
Right.
If you need advice from me, if I have the capacity to give you that, that's fine. If I don't, I will tell you I don't have the capacity. And I'm not a qualified expert. So don't, I can only offer you what I offer you.
Right. No, that is such a word. That's such a word. That's such a word.
It took a while to get there, but now I'm like giving this to my 17-year-old. She was like, that's like, okay, Mom, I got you.
Yes, and that's real. That's real. That's real.
You have to know what people want from you and what you can feasibly do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I told you we was gonna go left with the whole thing.
I saw some questions. Did you see the question?
I did. We trust me. We got the moderated question. It's happening.
Okay.
We got the moderated questions. We can do them beforehand if you want to. We can do it after you do your poem.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you one last question, and then I'm gonna ask what Kiana put up here because we love Kiana. She's awesome.
Okay.
So I will actually throw Kiana's questions after mine. Okay. So I like to end. This is my what ends up being the next to last question because you're gonna get one more curveball from me at the very, very, very end.
Curve 'em, girl.
Yeah. So this one, I do like to end the interview portion of the thing by asking, who is or what is your favorite book, author, or quote? You can name one, all, three of them. It doesn't matter. Book, author, quote. What's the thing? The thing you want to take away that you want to leave with these people? What do you want to leave with the audience?
Man, the Ratchet in Me says the coldest winter ever by Soja. I studied the language. I studied the words. Winter, Santiago, midnight. I literally I got my own midnight now. You know what I'm saying? That's how much I study midnight. But I love that book. That book really, I would say, was like my first style guide for writing urban literature. Shout out
yeah.
to Sister Soldier.
Yeah. Urban lit is a whole, it's a whole thing onto its no. I mean, we talked about the style guide, that there being an urban style guide, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that as a genre has its own, like,
Yes,
whoa.
yeah, it is. And honestly, I would like to say that my book is urban inspiration literature. So it's a good balance. It's not all the way ratchet.
No, no, and I like the fact that we've had on this show, we've like I said, poets who've written like poets who are authors who have poetry books.
Mm-hmm.
We have had romance writers on here. We had a romance novelist on here who
Mm-hmm.
just so happened to be a poet, but had written, like, I think she's up to book number 21 at this point. Might be 25. I don't know.
Lord.
She's in the 20s with the number of romance novels she's written. It's in the 20s.
Wow.
Mhm.
Ooh.
So we've had like I said, we've had all kinds of writers on here. So I like digging into specific genres because it's the process is the same, but the thought process is not, if that makes sense.
Right, right. Wow.
Hmm. This is why I like picking people's brains about books. It's
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Because you're like, where are you getting this inspiration from? Some of it's life, some of it's just, it's there.
Right, right. No, that was I mean, your questions have been loaded.
Yeah, I try my bestest. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, I really kind of like the takeaway from this segment is always like, there's no one way to do this.
Right. Right.
Never ever. Writers' brains are weird and we love them, you know.
Like it's
I'm
been
gonna ask Kiana's question, and then I'm gonna let you read. I'm gonna let you do a poem. Yay.
Okay. Yeah.
And then talk about all the places you're going to be and bring my co-host back.
Okay.
So Kiana's asking, what do you hope that readers will take away from your work?
I would love for readers to take away from my work that it's okay to be strong, but it's real to be weak and vulnerable. And no matter what, it's going to be all right. I think a lot of times, life can be so heavy. And I often tell, a lot of readers, like, I had one young man reach out to me like 2 days ago, and like he had me in tears, and he told me, he said, "Stronger saved my life. I wanted to commit suicide until I read your book."
Ooh.
And so my word to whoever is out there who may be on the brink of suicide, who may be on the brink of completely throwing the towel in and saying it's a wrap because things are getting hard. I love when things get hard, because what I learned in life, when they get hard, that's when a breakthrough comes in. That's when a blessing comes in. That's when a game changer comes in. When it gets real hard and things fall apart and they just fuck up and they explode, that's when God can come in and orchestrate something that you've never seen before. You are looking at a woman who's a single mom. Baby father walked away, left her for dead. You're looking at a gun violence survivor. Husband was murdered in cold blood, and I didn't think I would ever recover. You're looking at a sepsis survivor. You're looking at a woman who's lost so much, but God transitioned everything because I held on. I didn't fold, and I didn't give up. I'm here. I'm a testimony. I'm going to continue to write. I'm going to continue to inspire as long as I got life in me. So that's my word.
Child, that was a word to the point where I'm about to start gangster crying. Like, girl, stop playing. Stop playing. It's been that kind of week. I promise you, it's been that kind of week.
Yes.
Where, like, I've been getting all the things I did not know I needed to hear.
Woo.
Whoo, all of that. All the things you didn't know you needed to hear just happened. Okay. Run that back.
Yeah.
Keep this clip. Put it somewhere. No, seriously. Save this clip, put it somewhere. Come back to it when you need this moment again.
Absolutely.
It is going, we keep these videos up forever. Forever, ever.
Absolutely.
Come back to that. Right, Asha. We were over here. I'm over here like y'all don't understand. I was stomping on my floor, but I think my wife is downstairs.
She said I'm hollering at my phone, and I'm so serious. I'm
no, that's a whole word though. But you be like, dude, you had those moments when you be like, what the whole hell is happening?
I mean, I remember walking when I was starting my business, and I didn't have any money in the bank, and I took my kids to school, and I didn't have anything, and people were treating me so bad. You know, they would say things, and people close to me, you know, why don't you get a corporate job? You know, you have a degree. Why are you focused on this? You know, your books aren't selling. I had a lot of negativity around me. And I remember my car broke down, and I was going through the train station. I had two of my kids, they were little, and I didn't have enough money on my Metro card. And I just started crying. Oh, I just cried profusely. And the station manager, he came out. He said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Because I don't have any money to get my kids to school and to get to work. Like, I'm in the negative." And he gave me some tissue. He said, "Wipe your tears." And he gave me a Metro card. It had like $50 on it. And he said, "I've been seeing you for the last couple of weeks. You always have your kids in uniform. They look clean. Y'all look good. Y'all look healthy." He's like, "Don't give up." I'm like crying. And I was like, "I swear when I get the money, I'm going to pay you back." He was like, "Don't worry about it." Long story short, take my kids to school, go to work, and I get this ding on my cell phone. Ding, ding, ding. It was like, it sounded like, you know, Christmas. And I checked, and I seen some odd numbers in my bank account. And some said, "Go to the bank." And again, I didn't have no money, but I had that Metro card. Went to the bank. I had $22,000 sewn into my bank to create a writer's camp. And that day, that day was a game changer, baby. And that's what I want to tell you guys. It's like those days when you absolutely have nothing. That's when God allows you to just keep moving, and he blesses you.
Yeah. Can I tell you, like, whoo, child, this is, I gotta agree with Asha's comments up. I'm a straight say it, like, you don't know how much apparently the people that are here, we need this today. And anybody goes back and watches this video, they're gonna need this tomorrow. I am so glad that I have had a chance to talk to you, and I've had you on this show.
Yes, thank you.
You have been absolutely amazing. Like I said, I'm on my woo about the gangster cry. It's been that kind of week. I ain't know I need this in my life either.
Yes.
I'm gonna actually step off over here and compose my face, because I ain't trying to gangster cry on this show, yo. You have no idea. Like, this word, I needed this word. I promise you, I didn't know I needed it, but damn it, apparently I needed it. So I'm gonna step my ass over here. My face.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's been a week. When I tell you it's been a week, child, it's been a week. Like, I'll throw this in the universe. Like the last time, you know, we were talking about this tournament earlier, and you have to know the last time I did this I've only done this tournament twice, right? Mm-hmm. The last time I did this tournament, my mom died 2 days before the tournament. Mm-hmm. So I walked into it not expecting to do anything, because I didn't need the tournament. I needed the people there in the community, and they showed the fuck up. Right? Like they showed the fuck up. I was in a whole different city and they showed the fuck up to me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't worried about what I did over there. This year I did this shit like, okay, 2 years ago this happened. This is all redemption for me. Things happened. And I said, okay, this was gonna be my last year competing because it's not for any reason other than I've done, a lot of things at this point. Maybe it was trying to transition out, but I still was gonna do poetry, don't get me wrong.
Right.
And I'm telling you, so many people came to me this week with very similar sort of messaging. Like if there was ever a sign that I needed to not quite tap out just yet, like it's like every day this week, something in some form, somebody has come to me with a word I didn't know I needed.
Encouragement.
Today, there was a word in there I didn't know that I needed in my life. I'm listening. I'm paying attention. I promise you I am. And that's why I'm like, I don't know what this is, but we gonna go fix I don't know what, I'm not crying. I'm over here. There's a plate full of onions next to my plate.
Yeah.
I was eating dinner when y'all came over. There's a plate of onions sitting over here. It ain't that. I'm promising.
You know what you gotta do, sis.
I know, but like I said, I'm listening. I'm paying attention. I did not know I needed this, so I'm gonna go collect my face, and I'm gonna let you do the poems and the things, and then I'm gonna come back with my co-host, and I'll let them ask you if they have questions. All right. All right. Let me remove myself and fix my face.
Okay. Oh, it's time for me to perform. Okay. Let's see. Her song is my song, and her song is my song, and my song is her song, and her song be my song. See, I'm gonna be strategic like Harriet, bold like Sojourner, written like Phyllis. I'm gonna be the first Pulitzer like Gwendolyn Brooks. I'm gonna get that million like Madam C.J. Walker, be as graceful as Josephine Baker. Ain't taking no shit like Rosa, be prepared for war like Asada. I will master my enemy like Angela. I will pay more dues than Oprah. I will write to my spirit like Susan. I will pour my heart out like Mary J. Blige. I will change the game like Venus and Serena. I will write with all strength and emotion like Nikki. I will enrich my culture with verses unheard of like Maya Angelou. I will write and break the silence. I will write like Lauryn Hill. I will write, give birth to my child with no midwife. I will write my song till it ain't no more paper, no more pen, no more life in me, because somebody's got to write her song. I said somebody's got to write her song because somebody's got to be unafraid of the consequences of being the only woman in this era of war. Peace.
All right, I got all the other hosts in here, so yes, all the things. Can we give some? Can we give the applause? Hello.
Let me unmute my applause.
Yes.
Oh, love y'all.
Yes.
No. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the platform.
Yay.
There's
I love
you guys have a platform, right?
It is. It definitely is. I will defer to my other hostesses with a plethora of with any questions you may have before I kill the last question of the evening.
Well, can I compliment first? Can I compliment before you jump in with the questions? Miss Cayenne, can I just compliment?
I'm gonna always start off with a compliment, so go ahead.
Compliment. I just want to say, child. Well, first of all, I am a big fan of yours. You know what I'm saying? Brandi Forte is the one who ministered to me in 13 when we were just friends and said we were supposed to be married. We were talking about this the other day, actually. Yes, Brandi was the one who told us, do y'all not know y'all was supposed to be together? You don't know? She pulled 13 to the side. Let me talk to you. This is your queen right here. And I was like, I don't know.
I've never heard that. No, remember I gave you the Ruth and Boaz scripture.
I know you did. I know you did. We were talking about that. She's like, this is your Boaz right here. This is, and I was like, girl, and I was just looking at Brandi like, girl, I don't even like him like that. We not, you know, whatever. But I said that to say, when she was given the word, this girl, this child, this woman is, that's who she is. You gonna get the word every time. You gonna get it. Like you. This is what you're seeing on screen right now. You know how people come on and they have their interview person. This is exactly who she is. I've known her for two decades. This is exactly who she is, right? And I was like, this girl, you all in New York doing things, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you come down here and do my little thing. See, nothing is like too small for her. You know what I'm saying? She gonna come, she gonna talk to the people, she gonna talk to the kids. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'm so proud.
Thank you, baby. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I love you.
To know you and to know all of this stuff you was talking about. A lot of this stuff I had no idea you was going through all of this. I know some things, but no idea that you went through all of this. You know what I'm saying? So when you write a book like Stronger, you know what I'm saying? When you call the book Stronger, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, she's saying, right, you know, I was weak, then I was strong, but now I'm stronger. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole, that's a whole step. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to get a compliment. I want to get a compliment.
I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna toss this in on top of her compliment. When we discussed, you know, having you on the show, because you know, you and I have not met in person, right? So I know who you are, though. Like I've heard your name before, and I'm familiar. I'm at least familiar enough to know. Okay, cool, we're good. That's a good recommendation, good call. But as soon as I said, okay, we've got her for this show, I promise you, there were at least 4 to 5 people who were like, that was such a good pick. You're going to have a good time. Like you came with so many recommendations. It's not even funny. Like it was just like, okay, here, do that. So I want you to know your reputation precedes you and literally was like, yeah, we're here for this.
Look at God. Okay, God. Right. Work for your girl. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely, Brandi. I'm always with Kaniki. I like to always start with a compliment because I'm always amazed. I mean, the audience is always telling us, "Oh, it's a masterclass," but as a host, I'm like, "Yo, this is." I'm always thinking I'm a multitask. I can't. I'm glued. I can't move. My dog's is like, "Can you come?" No, I'm busy right now. So, and I was thinking, you know, in Psalms, there's that the Psalms of has that word Selah, which means to pause, right? And I feel, and that's what I wanted to say off the muscle, but you know, of course, we're sharing the space. So I feel a need to pause and let the word that you so eloquently spoke tonight sink in. Can I tell you that I had a conversation this afternoon, very lengthy one with a friend. You went line for line on everything we discussed as it pertains to the self-care, understanding where you are, or you were talking about the girl Jeans about the capacity. I mean, it was like, okay, God, I hear you. So I just want to say, I just loved your authenticity, and you have taught us so much tonight. I feel like I was literally
Thank you guys. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
This was the timing on this was like perfect. I'm telling you, like this was some.
April's gonna be good, y'all. I just seen somebody with a meme saying, I think we're gonna be good this month. I think we're gonna be all right this month.
Okay.
I think so.
I'm speaking into existence. We gonna be all right.
I'm trying because I have a tendency to manifest things, and I can't necessarily tell you which things because it'd be random as hell. So I gotta be real careful about what I say. But I'll be like that. Yeah, there you go. I talked that up. There we go. We're gonna talk up a good month.
Yeah, most definitely.
Absolutely.
Wow, my goodness. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sure. So I'm reeling with all the things that you have done and that you're doing like concurrently. I can't barely brush my teeth again. I don't want to say that. But so how, in your world of balance, What role does the village or your tribe play? Like, are they taking parts of your world to help you be able to take those 5 and 6 day vacations? Or because usually the excuse is an excuse. Well, I'm running all of this. I don't have time to take a vacation, because if I take a vacation, I have to run this. How do you work your village or your tribe into your work life?
Yeah, I used to always be so scared to leave because I would think things were falling apart. Realizing that I was the one who was for real falling apart. And so that's why I moved the way that I moved. I've learned to delegate and task. The best thing the village could do for me is to take on some responsibility and accountability. I can only, when you have so many people depending on you, that's the most y'all could do is hold shit down while I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Keep things airtight. That's, like Harriet. I know Harriet needed a break. And she could take one because she couldn't trust anybody. So I have some soldiers around me that I know I can delegate and I can entrust, and they'll make sure things are good. However, I also understand pause. I love how you said Selah. You know what that means? That, like, during the summer when I take my breaks around my birthday, my whole team take a break. We just shut down. June 30th, everybody looks forward to June 30th. You know why? Because that week I shut everything down. Nobody goes to work. It's my birthday. It's a holiday. Take off, take 3, take 4. I don't care. Do you, because I'm going to do me. And then we'll come back after the 4th. And that's real self-care.
Yeah.
I love that question, because how can the village support someone as strong as Kaniki, or someone as strong as Girl Genius, or as strong as you? And I don't even know you, but I know if you hang with Kaniki, I know you're solid, right? And a lot of times the village can only just pray for you.
Yes.
When you have an anointing,
Come on.
when you have a calling that sometimes you don't even understand.
Yeah.
But you're walking in it, even the village can't help you. Only God can guide you.
Yeah.
And I heard you, Girl Genius, earlier when you were talking about how you got to do things on your own because sometimes they ain't ready. You can't miss the opportunity. That's what God has been ministering to me. That go ahead and go forth. No matter what. Even if your squad, your homies, your comrades, even if they're not ready, you're going to have to start going alone. Something that I've never been comfortable with. That's scary, but it's real. And so sometimes I'm going to just be transparent. Sometimes your village is not as strong as you. What happens when your village is not as strong as you? What happens when the villages need you? Need you. You're the one. You're the LeBron. You're the Madam CJ Walker. You're the Barack Obama. You're the Michelle. The only force that can really guide you, and I know Kaniki understands this, the only person who can guide you is someone who has a Donda like spirit that talks to you like this. The giant sees no one. If you have a mama or a yayo or a woman, an auntie, a grandma, that's what can really, you know what I'm saying, hold you down. My mama's in California, but when I hear a word from her or my aunties, my great aunts, I go to the elders. That's my village.
And I'll say it like this. sometimes you are stronger than the village, but in the same sentence, it depends on what is stronger in what. You know what I'm saying? They need you for the things that you can do.
Good point.
And for the things you can't, that's what they there for.
And sometimes for real, let's just even be more transparent. Sometimes you just need a village just to be the village, just to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you said, just to listen.
Right.
I'm
Just
not good at all the things.
Yeah,
Right. I'm not good at all the
there.
things. Be there. That's what I was saying earlier about something. Do you need me to be there to listen, or do you need advice from me? That's it.
And you'll find that complete strangers will execute more than those close to you.
Yeah, because your family is not always your village.
Yes.
You think they're supposed to be, but your family is not always the village.
And if I can put the icing on the cake, because your family is your family by blood, they don't always understand the assignment because they just know, little Brandi. You know what I'm saying? They can't digest someone that they're related to. They can't digest a Kaniki could be a poet laureate. They can't digest that. That's hard to digest. With your family, you grew up with that person. So a lot of times, complete strangers, those are the ones who execute.
Yeah,
that's true.
True.
That is true.
Absolutely true.
That kind of ties into Asha's question, but you kind of answered it. But she asked, how do you find those types of soldiers? And I was going to ask that question too. Like, how do you sift out who you kind of put in your inner circle or in your tribe, so to speak, that can handle what you're carrying?
Yeah, I mean, you got to test the spirit by the spirit. I learned a lot of stuff by trial and error, but now that I got a little bit of wisdom, Asha, I have a few mentors, and I have someone that advises me. And so, sometimes you need an armor bearer. Sometimes you need that one person, and you got to test them out. You got to test them out. You got to put them to the test. You got to throw them in the fire. You got to see if they'll fold. You got to see if they're loyal. You got to see if they're going to tell your secrets. You got to see if when you can't pay them, are they going to run off? You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. And so, at the end of the day, oh no, somebody sent a question. No, we talking about Donda.
No. So she just defined what this is. So just in case somebody messes this up.
Doesn't know what it was. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you have to test those people. When I look at my team, and I'll just shout out my team, I have an assistant, Kiosha. Kiosha is a no-nonsense assistant. She's my assistant in all my business enterprises. She is by the book, literally. You know what I'm saying? But I met her when I was working for a nonprofit organization. And in my mind, I subconsciously said, if I ever start a business, I want to assist them like that. You know what I'm saying? I spoken into it into existence. So when I did start a Mala Lives, she came straight to me. Where my office was right down the street. She asked them to lead them to come to me. And she has always been just straight by the book. You know what I'm saying? I look at everybody who's around me. And I've had some snakes in the grass, but I learned from 50 Cent. 50 Cent said the snakes will trim themselves off. People who are not meant to be in your life, who are deceptive, who don't mean well, before you can even get to them, the universe would have already removed them. And you may be in your feelings, not even understand why they've been removed, but it's to protect you.
Yeah.
You know when something ain't right.
Right.
We're women. We go with our gut.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I was about to say, that's a whole discussion.
It is.
We'd be here for, between her talking about gut instinct and talking about mentorship, we'd be here for another 2 hours. I promise you, just on them two topics alone.
Yes. Because like
mentorship was something that came up over this week too, about finding somebody you trust enough to put in that circle of mentoring. And like I said, we'd be here for another 2 hours.
And real quick, a mentor will come to you. I swear, you don't even have to look for the mentor. The reason why I say that is because when I was working for this nonprofit organization before I started Amala Lives, the building burnt down. And I was a director of youth programs. I wasn't there when the building burnt down. And so the executive director, his focus was because the program was so good, was to find another place for us to continue programs. The place that he would send me to was the Columbia Heights Youth Club. The executive director was a Black woman, and she was watching me. Her name is Gail Oliver. She was watching me the whole time. And she came to me and said, "You need to start your own." And I was like, "Huh?" And she said, "Yeah, you do." And I just was like, wow. I was thinking it was cute. Then she came to me. I'll never forget. She had her assistant, who's deceased now, give me a copy of her grant.
Oh.
Hand it to me.
Wow.
And say the deadline is tomorrow. It's for 10 grand if you want it. Read through a grant, make it yours, submit it. I did exactly what she told me and submitted it. The person that I was submitted to was a classmate who would later be on my board for Amala Lives. Got the 10 grand, second grant, 6 weeks, 10 grand. She mentored me. When I started Amala Lives, she gave me my first office building, 14th and Columbia Road, for nothing. For free. Has been mentoring me ever since. Shout out to Mama Gail. So the mentors come to you.
Wow.
That's intense.
The mentors will come to you, because I do believe when you do the work, when you have something on your spirit, when you answer that call, right? You don't know how you're going to do it, but it's going to work out. Because if that's that call, it's going to happen. If you're called to do something, other people will be called to you to help you do it. That is
absolutely.
That is the truth. So listen, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, baby.
About this podcast that you got coming out, because I already know, my segment is called Poets and Platforms. We want to talk about the platform part. So tell us about your podcast, because we definitely want to follow you, find out.
Yes. So the first taping was yesterday. I'm a newbie. The name of the podcast is Unapologetically Powerful, and I think it speaks for itself. It's really about creating a platform for people who are great and don't need to apologize for it. Mm-hmm. When you have greatness, a lot of times people want you to be extremely humble and extremely quiet. No, I'm extremely loud, extremely bold. This is who I am, and I'm not going to apologize for being who I am. And so yesterday we taped. We had celebrity therapist Joseph Williams. We had Ayanna Mackins Free from the Challenger. It was really dope. It will be on YouTube, all stations associated with Anchor and Apple Podcasts. So I will send all you guys the link. The first airing is April 15th. So I'm super excited.
Oh, yes, please.
And Nikki, I gotta bring y'all on.
Yeah.
Y'all know you doing your thing. I couldn't get you, but
we're gonna make it work.
We're gonna make it work.
We're actually, I think we're setting up to put. I've been setting up to put past episodes of this show on Anchor too.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yes, I'm super excited, and it's new for me, but at the same time, it's allowing me to apply what I went to school for, which was broadcast journalism. So
exactly,
it's cool.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you to tell the people, how can they support you? We know we can support you monetarily in different ways. So let us know that. But then the people who say, "Well, Brandi, right now I don't have any money, but I want to support you," because it's all different types of support. Tell us can they do that?
I'm gonna add to that. Like, I know you said you got a lot of shows coming up too.
Yes. So I have Barnes & Noble at Perimeter Mall in Atlanta on Thursday. I have an event near Norfolk. It's a retreat, but I'll have all of this stuff on social media. I'm also performing at Ideal Public Charter School at the end of the month for Coachella. So I will be there, featured poet. I will be in New York the following week, which is the week after next. So I'll be at Sisters Uptown doing a pop-up. Child, I got so much stuff. So anyhow, follow me on social media. On Facebook, it's author Brandi Forte. On IG, it's author entrepreneur Brandi. My website is www.brandiforte.com. This week, I got to load up another vending machine, stronger vending machine, deliver that joint to a salon. So I got a lot of stuff popping. And I'm a mom too.
Yes.
Because, nope, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
It's the other way around. So I had it up there, and it's up earlier in the comments. It's the other way around. Gotcha.
Right.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
I want to make sure people have the info and the things right. That's it.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
All right.
You did it.
Now we are on to the very, 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 very last question. It's the hardest question you will answer all night, I promise.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we always save the hardest question for last, man. Look, I'm getting real intense. Got to get all in it. Ready? Now that you have been on the show, let me recap first. You have Poets and Platforms, you have Passion Projects, you have Let's Talk About the ... typically books, and then Sherry's segment is From Behind the Microphone, right? Who do you think would make a good guest on this show? For any of the segments. Who do you think? Like I said, we count this as a masterclass. Who do you want to sit here and get a word of advice from? Whose brain do you want to pick?
Like even like someone locally that I would.
Yeah, I mean it could be anybody.
We're virtual, so we can get anybody from anywhere.
Right.
I really would love to see you guys bring on Moo Fresh.
Girl.
I'm about to hit up Moo Fresh.
Yes.
Girl.
Really, I would really. I
love her.
I love her so hard. Yes.
I love her.
Moo Fresh.
She's amazing.
Be soft again. That new song, child, does something to my soul. Yes, I love her. I love her artistry.
She will be around in the general area soon, because I want to say I saw her post up about doing something at the Kennedy Center.
It's on the 15th.
Yeah. Like I was like, it's really soon because I wanted to go.
On the Kennedy Center, it's Women in Hip Hop.
It's Women in Hip Hop, because it's like MC Light and like Moo Fresh, and like I was like, I really want to go to this. Like it's amazing. I will find the link and post it up somewhere where everybody can see. But yeah, that's a good pick.
Yes,
God, that's a good pick.
Go find Moo.
That is an excellent pick.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and Asha said Roz on the ticket too. That's somebody else we need to have on here. Speaking of which, is Rob Brown.
Yes.
That's a conversation, because I know at least 3 of us have like an extended, we've known her for a long time relationship.
Bar none, baby. Baba Ross D.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I go back that far. Yeah. I go back that far to Mangoes and Bar None, and yep, I go back that far.
Ooh, child. When the drinks was everything was only $5. What, Nikki?
Yep.
Only
$5.
Yep.
Yes. So y'all, the show is I Am Woman, a celebration of women in hip hop. And if anybody would like to buy me a ticket,
or me, shit.
I'm trying to go. If anybody want to buy us a ticket,
listen. I saw that and I was like, oh,
yeah, I know, right?
Buy us a ticket.
Buy us a ticket. That's what I'm saying. Do that. You can support us by buying us a ticket.
Buy us a ticket.
Listen, we got a whole Cash App. Everything is all Keep the Mic on all the things. Just drop it in there, write in the notes with tickets.
A little note on it.
I joke, but I'm not.
Right.
Sorry.
Kidding, not kidding.
Ay, ay, ay. Well, thank you, Brandi. You have been absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you. Like I'm telling you, I wasn't kidding. This is a whole word I know I needed. We are back next week. Who is next? I know who's next week. I know. Next week is Miss Cayenne's week, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Who do you have next week?
Listen, next week I have a poet. Her name is Poet Gold. She's out of Poughkeepsie, New York. She's an artivist, and I love it because, of course, she does poetry and performs, but it's much deeper than that, and that she uses her poetry to really hone in on the cause of equity, for as racial equity. So she does films, poetry, shorts, documentaries. She's fire. So I'm excited about having that conversation.
Listen, and I love people I'm not as intimately familiar with. So this is going to be fun. I say this every week. I'll be excited. So yes, join us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We here at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I will have recovered. I promise you I will have recovered from the week that was. So yeah, we'll be back next week. What do we always say? Stay safe, wash your hands, do all the things. Remember, we ain't quite out the panini yet, so make that work. Just be careful. But look, I'm gonna tell you the Baltimore thing. Be safe. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Just be safe.
Who's from Baltimore?
I live here now. I ain't from here, but I live here.
So I just opened up an office in Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Last month, right on Pratt Street. So let's talk.
All right, cool. Hold on. We get off of this till we get off of this broadcast. We're gonna have a whole conversation, y'all. We gonna carry this after the show. See, this is also the reason why we have stuff like Patreon, because these conversations that happen off the show, them joints be off the hook. All right, we'll see y'all all next week. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, audience. All the fun things. We love you.